So, I don't know, I guess it was last week, Keaton Evans from Toronto, gaffer in Toronto, had posted a little appreciation post about the movie Ocean's 11. And Jim Plannett was the gaffer. And if you don't know Jim or his backstory, I mean, he's had such a long career in the business. He's done so many major Hollywood films. I had a chance to at least say hi to him at Cine Gear this year. And his dad was a gaffer on It's a Wonderful Life. So he has a very long, storied family history in the biz. And so there were some questions about eyelight on Ocean's 11, and he thought he had just done a bounce or something like that. But more recently, I've been using this inexpensive light called a flapjack. And I'm like, I've never heard of this light. I never heard of the company, didn't know anything about it. So another guy, Jack Cummings, on the thread said he owned 8 of these or something and loved them. And I thought, well, let me look it up. I looked it up on B&H. It was $369, something like that. So I just thought, well, fuck, let me order one. So here it is. And I was a little skeptical since it appeared to have come out maybe in 2019. I wasn't sure the color metrics were going to be particularly good. But I put a meter to it. And both at 30, 200, and at 56, I was getting a TM30 of 94/103, something like that. And even dimmed down at 10%, I was getting about the same, maybe marginally less. Now, this is a limited range. It goes from 3200 to 56, that's it. And so if you want to go warmer or cooler, you're gonna have to slap CTB or CTO or CTS or whatever. And it does run a little bit magenta. In my testing, I felt like I needed to probably put 8th green on. That would get me really, really close to being zeroed out. Now, the nice thing is it runs about the same amount of magenta at 32 as it does at 56. You know, a lot of these lights are so frustrating, bicolor lights, because it skews green and at the other end it skews magenta. And then it's a nightmare because it's going through that range. So it's kind of neutral, maybe in the middle, and then it's a nightmare because you have to constantly put a different gel on. If you want to go from 32 to 56 suddenly quickly on set, you got to take the time to swap your gel out. So I think I noticed in the middle, say around 4,000, 42, 4,300, it got slightly more magenta, but just marginally so. So I have to do some more testing, but I'm assuming 8th green on this is probably going to be the solve for me. And the build quality, it's fine. I mean, it's a $400 light. I wasn't expecting a lot, but it's got double lockdowns. It's, the pin's a little Mickey Mouse, but it's 100% usable, perfectly fine. It's a relatively lightweight head. I mean, it's not as light as, say, a matte light. It's heavier than that, but it's still, all things considered, a pretty lightweight head. And surprisingly, it's got a dual battery mount on the back. Now it's 14.4, but it'll take NP batteries, double 2 NP batteries, which actually come in the kit. You get a battery charger and you get 2 NP batteries. Now these are ones I already had out. These are not the ones that come in the kit, but they're essentially the same. This is a V-mount plate. I didn't notice that it was offered in gold mount, and it's unclear to me. I haven't read the manual. I'm guessing you can't use, both to double your runtime. I'm assuming you're either one or the other, but I don't know that for a fact. So, all in all, I gotta say, this is an impressive little light, especially for the cost. I can see, I have the Roscoe DMG dash with the little dot accessory. So that's a small eye light about this big. And I absolutely love that. But having a larger eye light or just a larger little thing that I can fill with, if I'm doing a doc interview and we decide we're going with a really sidey key and we want to bring in something over camera just as a little taste in the eye, I mean, this thing I think would be absolutely perfect. And I think it will really hero on these batteries. I've been running it at 100% for a little bit now, and the battery meter hasn't even dropped down. I believe this is a 100-watt output. It's made by a company that I never heard of called Fotodiox. The model is C-700RSV. But if you just look it up at B&H or wherever as the flapjack, you'll find it. Again, they come in different sizes. I can't remember how many different sizes. This is the 18-inch. I think there's like a 7 or a 9. I don't know. There's smaller sizes. and someone told me there was a larger one. I didn't look at that one. This seemed like the perfect size for what I wanted it for, which is that occasional eye light, occasional little pop of fill. So yeah, impressive little unit. I originally got it thinking I was going to have to return it, that it was going to be crappy. But hey, Jim is absolutely right. This thing is terrific. And yeah, thanks for the tip, Jim. So a little addendum. I incorrectly stated this was 100 watts. It's actually, according to the manual, a 60 watt light. I thought I saw it listed at 100. It's listed as having a beam angle of 75 degrees. And I did a runtime test with the NP batteries. Brand new batteries. They were Watson brand. I hadn't yet charged the ones that come with the kit. In theory, they're about the same watt hours, or they are the same watt hours. And I got a pretty decent hour and 58 minute at 100% at 3200. So that's not too bad. The manual says 1.6 hour runtime. The manual also says plus or minus 300 Kelvin at 5600 and plus or minus 200 at 32. When I metered this at 3200 at 100%, I was getting about 3000 Kelvin, but it was spot on at 56. So I decided, since it did skew a little magenta, I would put a couple of Velcro tabs around and do a little 1/8 correction that I could roll up, put in the kit, and it could just clip on really easily. And I'll probably do the same, probably with like maybe half CTO, half CTS, and maybe half blue, just to have it. And obviously, if I go warmer, if it's too warm, I can correct it on the Kelvin. So I'll make up a few things like that. Anyway, yeah, that's the flapjack.